Hey, I'm Alex Radcliffe from Board Game Co., and I'm going to be playing through Agemonia, specifically the first of the 3 tutorial missions that this prototype has. Agemonia is going to be an RPG-esque dungeon crawler exploration game in which, well, you'll be going through a variety of adventures, unlocking choices, narrative choices, making decisions about what happens, who to engage with, how to interact with the world around you, all while still dealing with a character that you'll be leveling up, getting more skills, using stamina, all the various mechanics of the game. Now, I'm going to try to explain things as they happen rather than telling you everything else. For right now, the main thing you're going to need to know is that I'm just going to be wandering through a map, and we'll explain the story and we'll read off the story in a second. Now, there's going to be further playthroughs if you want to see the second and third playthrough. Those are going to be over on Quackalope's channel. There'll also, I'm sure, be additional playthroughs, but we'll see. I believe the second playthrough Quackalope and I did together, and the third one he did on his own, and I haven't actually seen that yet. So we'll see how that all plays out. You can watch that. What I would recommend is this first playthrough, this first tutorial mission does not have combat. Now, it's not a pure, simple, on-rails, no challenge scenario. You will not get everything done in the scenario, but if you're looking for combat specifically, if you want to see that element of Agemonia, then I recommend, well, I mean, you could skip this or you could watch more. You could watch this and something else. That's your choice, but just understand walking in that combat, which is a huge part of the experience, is not present. The tutorials, each of the 3 tutorials are going to add more elements to the way the game plays, to things you need to understand and know as you go through the world of Agemonia. I will also have a review up on this channel at some point. I don't know exactly when, but I'll have a review up on this channel of the game, but we'll see how that goes, and there'll be a link to the Kickstarter down below. Now, with that said, let's go ahead and start off. I'm going to be reading from the book. There is an app as well, but I like reading from the book personally, but it depends. It depends on the game, the situation. For right now, the app doesn't really let you move forward faster. It kind of like stuck behind waiting for everything. So, and again, prototype, things are still being developed and all that, but I'm going to start it off with the Flooded Inn. The city of Ambigate stands on dozens of small islands, connected by canals and bridges. One such island holds the shimmering Squid Inn where you are staying. One evening, you are standing on the balcony overlooking the magnificent gate from which the city gets its name, a doorway into nowhere. A few weeks ago, the runes decorating the gate lit up with an eerie blue radiance. People have come from far and wide to witness this phenomenon, just as you admire it from your balcony. Just then, the gate starts to crackle with azure energy, and water starts to pour in through it. The canals overflow, and the islands close to the gate are completely submerged. Cries of panic and the ringing of bells fill the air. You rush downstairs into the common room, where water is already knee-deep. The innkeeper, the barmaid, and customers all look desperately in need of help as the water pours in through the door and the windows. To help them, you will need to act quickly. So, the Flooded Inn, as it sounds, is an inn that's flooding, and it's our job as these characters to go to the location marked Start Here and start navigating around this world. Now, I'm going to explain some quick core concepts. To begin with, every single round, you're going to be given an action, and then as well as that, you get a maneuver action. You have to choose one of your actions over here, and you get to take a maneuver action as well. Maneuvers are often going to be movement, but they can be things such as recovering stamina, or as you unlock additional abilities, cards, gear, there will be additional things you can spend your maneuver on. For right now, this is more of an exploratory mission. We're going to be wandering around to various interaction points, these story points, where we're going to draw from this deck of story cards. And then there's a little bit of a range system at play, so that as you get within 0 of this point, within 1 of that point, within 1 of that point, within range of a point, you're already going to flip it over, signifying that sometimes you have to be somewhere to interact with something, to see that something's going on. Other times, you might hear someone screaming to you from across the room as you wander around. So we're going to go ahead and start it off. Now, there's going to be an initiative system. Generally, the initiative is more random in terms of the order of acting, you and the enemies. For this tutorial scenario, it's going to be red, blue, green. That's signifying the action colors we take. And I'm going to go ahead and start off both of these with an extra maneuver action. This action over here, you start with only 2 actions. You're going to level up. So we have limited options over here in this tutorial scenario. Limited options in our actions, not the way we choose to navigate. And I'm going to start exploring around over here. So, because I chose this order, red's going to activate first. We have Venia of Heartwood and Lunara Brindleine. They both have full boards on the, I'm not going to actually, let's see if we flip them. They both have full stories on the other side you can go through. I'm not going to read all of those, but let's go ahead and start this off. So, let's see what we need to do over here. This one, Venia has an extra maneuver, which means the standard movement of 2, I can go ahead and move around the board. I think I'm going to go ahead and spend a stamina to go ahead, and I'm going to put the stamina over here. We have a stack of stamina chips that can be used to augment actions at times. So I'm going to be giving 3 movement instead of, well, 2 if I spend that stamina. So I'm going to go ahead and do so. And I'm going to start with, let's see, we have Oh, decisions, decisions. I'm going to go ahead and wander this away. I'm going to go 1, and you think this through. 1, should we stay in the inn first? Let's stay in the inn first. I'm going to go 1 over here, and then we'll keep moving from there. So we're going to go ahead and grab card H because we are within range of H, range 0. The Shimmering Squid. In the common room, the innkeeper is directing customers upstairs. The stout Corellian heartily welcomes you to Yestereve, but is now clearly fighting off panic. Offer help. So now when you see this card, that's going to tell you what needs to be done and at what range to flip the card. In this case, range 0, and just flip it. There's no restrictions around it. The innkeeper's plea. Are you certain you can face the current? As Bakura is my witness, I want no harm to come to you. He looks you up and down, appraising you from head to toe. In fact, perhaps you could help with the bridge. I fear it will collapse, and then the escape route will be cut off for many townsfolk. Work hard, and may the Creator's success flow down on us all. There are others also in need of help, such as the silk merchant and the barmaid, and who knows who else is still inside the rooms. Just then, a gush of the waves sends you more water and debris through the open door. You must hurry. So this card's giving us information. No real mechanics, but information. There's going to be, who do we want here? There's the silk merchant and the barmaid, and who knows who else. Anyone else there? The silk merchant and the barmaid. So I'm guessing there's going to be someone over here by the barmaid. The silk merchant, we're going to have, it looks like, a stable over here. We have our salvage pile over here. Then I don't know where the silk merchant would be. It could be over here. There's a bunch of barrels and crates. Let's head that away. Let's go to the barmaid. So we're going to push this off to the side, this card over here. And we're going to keep using our remaining 2 movement, which is going to be 1 and 2. Oh, wait, no, we're going to activate that point over there. So when we cross this, we're within range 1 of D, even though we're not going to D, although we might change our mind. A mysterious stranger. A distraught, one-eyed Ignacia is rushing to her room where a strange-looking device awaits. You have seen her here in the inn and have overheard her introducing herself as a silk merchant. It was a silk merchant. Ignacias are not a common sight in Ambigate, and silk merchants have no use for such devices. Flip the card at range 0. Venerate the sun, she says in relief, and addresses you by your name. It is you. Please help me. I've left some valuable manuscripts in Birdie in yonder stable. Would you save them for me before they get wet? You have seen her in the inn, but have never spoken to her before. How does she recognize you? Please, there's no time for that. I have the means for escape, but you must assist me. So we have some valuable documents that are going to be in yonder stable area, and we're not going to move that way. We're still going to split off in different pathways. So we're going to go ahead and go 1 over here, using our last movement from our first maneuver. We still have plenty of actions left. Keep in mind, by the way, we only have, I didn't tell you, so no reason to keep in mind, we only have 7 turns to accomplish everything in this scenario. So there is a time limit on what goes on here. We're going to go ahead and try to encounter the barkeep. So we're going to see over here the B, well, I assume barkeep. We have B and C. We're going to go ahead and do that there. Dangling chandelier. You cannot jump over the high bar, but above it hangs a chandelier. The light of the candles glimmers in the flowing water. An athlete might be able to jump up from the water, grab the chandelier, and swing their way forward. Bar acrobatics. At range 1, we can flip this card. You may spend 1 movement point to take a test. We'll explain the test if we do it. Success, move to any area adjacent to the area containing B. For the rest of this turn, you may spend 1 movement point without a test to move to any area adjacent to the area containing B. Oh, that's interesting. That is interesting. Effectively, let's put this over here next to the chandelier. We have a little chandelier where we're going to go ahead and start swinging around. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm out of movement, but I could spend a movement to go ahead and take that test. So let's go ahead and do so. Let's explain tests. This is going to be testing my agility. I over here have 3 agility dice. So if I did a test, I'll just roll some dice. It's not the actual test yet. I'm trying to get 3 successes on 3 dice. Now, had I chosen the focus action for the round, I'd have 1 less maneuver, but I'd get an additional die to any of my tests. So focus allows you to, well, choose to focus. I'm going to go ahead and roll there like so. And we have the following. So that would be 2 successes. And each of these symbols allows me to spend 2 stamina to gain 2 successes, or spend 1 stamina for 1 success as well. So that would be an easy roll where I successfully got it. But we're going to go ahead and take the test now. I'm going to go ahead and take my next action, where I'm going to again spend a stamina to take extra movement. So I again have 3 movement points. And I'm going to go ahead and got 4 successes, which means I don't need to spend a thing. And we're going to go ahead and swing across the chandelier. And this is a good time to note that I probably should have shown you the barkeep, because range 2 away. So I should have pulled out the barkeep beforehand. And we have Stella's Grick needs saving, which I'm there now, but Stella's Grick needs saving. The innkeeper stepdaughter Stella has a pet Grick called Fungus. Fungus is caught in the cellar and in danger of drowning. To help her, you have to either grab the Grick or convince it to jump into your lap. Rescue Fungus the Grick. Now this is going to be a much harder test, because that's going to require either 5 agility or 5 intelligence. Now, intelligence I'm a little bit lower on, so I'm going to go with 5 agility, although this is a good time where having that focus would really help. But I'm going to go ahead and make the test. Now, the tests don't actually cost you anything to make unless, for instance, Bar Acrobatics say spend 1 movement point to do so. But the tests, even the tests that don't require anything, can only be tested by 1 person per test per turn. So this character can go over here and try as well, but right now, Venia can only try once. So we're going to go ahead and try it, hope for the best. And we got, okay, so it looks like we can do it, but it's expensive. We effectively got 2 successes, and then we have that over there, which can be spent up to 4 stamina to get 4 successes. I'm going to spend 3 stamina, which is an expensive proposition, but I would like to get that done. So we're going to spend the stamina, and we're going to go ahead and flip the card. You take Fungus the Grick in your arms and pet it gently. It is wet and miserable, but safe. Meanwhile, Stella has run to the stairs. She waves at you and yells, "Oh, thank you. May the stars shine upon you, kind savior. Please bring him to me." Place this card below your hero board. You may give this card to a hero in the same area as your hero on your turn or theirs. If the hero with this card moves into an area with a treasure chest, place this card in the salvage pile, which means we're trying to head back to over here, which is frustrating. I just took on an obligation, but, well, obligation it is. We're going to go ahead and try to get the Grick back to the salvage pile. We're going to return it to our treasure chest area. Now, that was only 1 point of movement, which means I still have 2 points of movement. So I think we're going to head back to the salvage pile. That's what we're going to go ahead and do. We're going to go ahead and jump back over the chandelier. I don't need to take the test again because I've already done so. And then we're going to go ahead and head that away like so. That is going to be our options there, which means those are going to be the 2 turns, the 2 actions, 2 maneuvers. You get a lot done in a turn, as you're seeing. And now Lunara is going to take her turn. She's also going to spend a stamina to be able to move additional spaces. She's going to go 1, 2, 3. And she's going to engage with the Spice Merchant. Where'd the Spice Merchant go? Where did I put the Spice Merchant? Oh, I did something wrong. So here's a good example of something I did wrong, by the way, just to give some context here. I flipped the Spice Merchant at range 0. In other words, I had passed by the Spice Merchant at range 1, which allows us to flip the Spice Merchant, but I shouldn't have actually flipped it. I should have allowed us to show the Spice Merchant, but I shouldn't have actually flipped it until I was at range 0. So something I did wrong over there, worth noting so that, well, you don't do it wrong. We're going to go ahead and go 1, 2, and 3 into the Spice Merchant space. No, not the Spice Merchant space, over here. I thought there was a pathway through those rooms. And then we're going to go try to head over there. I guess we'll spend, I will not take an extra movement because I don't know if I need it because we only need 1, 2. 1, 2 into the room. And we're going to go ahead, that was our second maneuver. And then we are going to go ahead and, I did 1, 2, 3. Yeah, we're going to go ahead and encounter, I should really encounter that over there before we draw it. A chest-carrying clergyman. You see a priest of the fifth eye carrying a heavy chest marked with exquisite signs. This chest seems to be too heavy for the elderly Nithagri man, but he's desperately trying to keep it above water. He refuses to help, saying he has vowed before the fifth eye to take care of it alone. So, we can go ahead and try a success attempt at range 0, so I'll continue my movement in there. And we'll try I have 3 intelligence, which is good, but again, rolling 5 successes is always hard, even when you have 3 dice. He says, as he goes ahead and gets to the following. So that's going to be 2 successes. That's a 3rd success, and it allows me to re-roll exploding dice. And that's going to be 5 successes without me needing stamina. This is not how it always goes, just for the record. And we're going to go ahead and flip the Spice Merchant, the chest-carrying clergyman. You convince the priest of the fifth eye will not be pleased if the chest and its contents get wet. He sighs in relief as you take the heavy chest from his hands. The chest emits a high-pitched hum, which seems oddly out of place compared to the heavy, low sloshing of the water. Place this card below your hero board. You may give this hero to the same as you may give this card. Same idea. We're trying to get it over to the salvage pile over there. And that's going to be our turns, and now we're going to go ahead and remove a little clock over here. The numbers on the clock don't really matter unless you're dealing with a timer, which we're not currently dealing with a timer. So let's go ahead and continue. Round 2. We're again going to stick with those extra maneuvers over here. There may well be tests that we need to pause and adjust, but I think the extra maneuvers right now are too important. We're going to go ahead and do the same order. So we're going to start with, I'm going to spend a stamina to be able to move 3. I'm going to walk here. I'm going to place this in the salvage pile. So we now have Fungus the Grick in our salvage pile. Then I'm going to continue my movement going 1, 2. And then I'm going to head on over here, I think. I'd like to head over there exploring. I'm going to spend a stamina. I'm getting awfully low on stamina. Is this the right move is the real question. I don't really know. I'm going to go ahead and I think I'm going to recover some stamina for a second action. I'd like to be prepared. In case we have to roll any of these, I'd like to have the stamina to spend. So we're going to go ahead and recover stamina. That was our full turn. A much faster turn. Lunara Brindelion is going to do something along the same line. She's going to go ahead and spend a stamina to move 3. 1, 2, 3, and then she's going to go ahead and rest, restoring her stamina, so she's at full stamina over there. We're going to head into the next round, but we've just given up 1 of our 7 precious turns to be a little bit more prepared. So sometimes you get a lot done in a turn, sometimes not. Venia of Heartward. Same actions. We're going to again choose extra maneuver. Venia of Heartward is going to go ahead and spend a stamina to be able to move 3, 1. And immediately we're going to go ahead and reveal L because we're already 2 away. L. Blocked street. The street outside the inn has been blocked by a broken gondola carried by the flood. An escaping Patagon family with many four-armed children is stuck on the other side. The strong current keeps the gondola in place. The Patagon mother looks at you with desperation in her reptilian eyes. Lift gondola. Gondola? It's gondola. I'm saying gondola. Lift gondola. Okay, we're going to go ahead and have that action over here. And we are going to try to do what we can to lift it. But we have to be there. We have to be there, so we're going to continue our movement to 0. And we're going to try a strength test. Keep in mind, we only have 2 strengths, so we're only rolling 2 dice for this test, which has me a little bit more nervous, but we can see what to do. And I'm telling you, this is not how it always goes. We got 2 exploding dice plus rerolls, and then we have this, so we do have to spend that 2 stamina to knock it into 4 successes. So we're going to go ahead and do that, and we're going to flip the card. Straining your muscles to the extreme, you manage to move the gondola aside. The relieved families can escape the flood. May the stars shine upon you, many of them say in Ithri fashion. The Patagon children deftly climb over the remaining debris while their mother turns to you, forming a complex symbol with 4 claws. I thank the spirits, and I thank you. Place this card in the salvage pile. Reveal story card, circle. Usually they're letters. Circle. Here we go. A little boat. While moving the gondola, you notice a small boat stuck behind it. It bobs precariously on the waves, but does not turn over. A small push might allow you to move it to a place where it can hold your salvage. So we're within range of the boat, so we're going to go ahead and... Oh, it's spend a maneuver. Do we want to spend a maneuver? I don't know what's behind it. Let's go ahead and spend the maneuver. So we're going to go ahead and spend the maneuver to go ahead and flip the boat. Yeah, it's my second maneuver. Yeah, I'm going to do it. We spend it, and we flip it, and we have a card that goes J, okay. What is this doing over here? Oh, this is giving us an additional point. Oh, that's interesting. Okay, cool. Look, let's go ahead and do this. So, we're going to go ahead and place that like that, and we're going to go ahead and now have an extra place to place our salvage, which gives Lunara an extra, well, saves her an action from walking back there. That's going to end Venia's turn. Lunara has 3, well, actions, or 2 maneuvers, sorry. She's going to spend a stamina to move 3. 1, 2, 3. Then she's going to spend a stamina to, again, move 3, going 1. And then she's in range 0 of J. Bridge over troubled water. The flowing waters and the floating debris have damaged the bridge and it's in danger of collapsing into the canal. To clear the bridge will require strength, and to remove the debris from the supporting beams takes dexterity. To direct the fleeing citizens to help would demand leadership. Fortunately, you are in a position to help. Range 0, clear the bridge. Success. If successful, place an X marker on this card. Only 1 X marker may be placed on this card each round. So, this is something where we're going to have to help out. Let's see, 1 second. We have the B from the supporting beam, takes dexterity, direct the fleeing. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and put this over here. We can probably remove the bar acrobatics from play. I don't think we need that. Now, this is an area where there is going to be a bit of an achievement system that we didn't talk about. An achievement system is going to be the idea that you have achievements at the end for accomplishing different tasks. So, for instance, one of the scenarios over here is story card J has 4 or more X tokens on it, which means that card, helping out, which is story card J, we ideally want to do it 4 times. So, and you can do any of those tests over there to do it. Now, I can test it. I still have 2 movement left. In the meantime, I'm going to place the chest of the 5th eye over there, but I can test it, and I guess I'm going to test it with intelligence because that's my strongest stat. So we're going to attempt a test. Don't forget, 1 test per round. And that was an accomplished test, but an expensive test. I'm going to spend my 2 stamina, and we're going to place an X marker on the card. That's 1 out of 4. Now I'm going to keep moving, and we're going to go ahead and keep moving 1, 2 to this door over here. That's going to finish our turn, and now it's going to be Venia Hartwood's turn. Well, no, now it's the next round. We have to flip a card. Flip a card, and we're down to 4 rounds left. That first round I got so much done, but the subsequent rounds are a little slower. So, we're going to go ahead, keep doing the same thing. It's been working for us. I think so. Yeah, I think we're going to keep doing the same thing. I'm going to go ahead and spend a stamina to go ahead and go 1, 2, 3. I'm going to rest to recover 3 stamina, and then attempt that test using my dexterity, which is my highest attribute. So we're going to go ahead and do that. And we have 4 successes. Boom. We're going to go ahead and place that down there, helping out. Venia's done, fast and to the point. Lunara is going to go ahead and spend a stamina, so she can go ahead and go, oh, yeah, because it's already 1. I'm going to spend a stamina. We're going to go, oh, I should already be opening 1. Sorry, before we spend the stamina, M should have been within range 1, and therefore we can look at it. Door to the stable. Well, that's going to be over here. Door to the stable is locked and will not open. At least it is slightly slowing the ingress of floodwater. So we're going to go ahead and spend that stamina and move 1. We have 2 movement left. We're going to flip the card. A brick door. However, there's a hole high in the door. Old pagan temples used to have hatches like that for making small sacrifices to the goddess. Nowadays, the hole is probably meant for the barmaid's grick to go inside to keep vermin out. You may give any story card placed below your hero board to your hero on the opposite side of the door in either direction. So card M is on both sides, and you can pass things through that door. That's interesting. We're going to leave this over here. We have our chest. It doesn't look like we can actually do anything, so I'm going to head... Oh, interesting. So we have over here, we have another entry point into the bar, it seems. We're going to go ahead and go 1, 2. That was still the first action. We want to rest our stamina. Let's go ahead and rest our stamina. This card can only be attempted, only one X marker may be placed on the card each round. So that this specific test says only one X marker, period, not per hero. So we're resting and restoring stamina. We enter to the next round. We're going to flip that card. We have 3 rounds left. Again, that clock is ticking down. So, what are we going to do now? We are going to go ahead with Lunara, Benin. We're going to choose the same actions. We're going to have extra maneuver on Venia. Venia is going to start with a test over there because that seems like the right move. And then potentially just restoring stamina the whole time? That feels like a waste. That feels like a waste. We're not going to go ahead and do that. We're going to go ahead and test our attribute. And we have... So again, we can do that. Maybe we will just restore stamina. So we go ahead and we have to spend 2 stamina to make it a success. We do place that over there, but that does mean what we're going to do next is we're going to rest for our first maneuver, and we're going to rest for our second maneuver, leading us very well prepped, and then I can stay there and attempt it next round. It's a balance of what I'm trying to do with my limited actions. Meanwhile, Lunar is going to go ahead and spend a stamina to go 1, and we're immediately going to look at card E. Maintenance hatch. There's a low entrance to the stable meant for delivering hay. Like everyone else, it is overflowing with water and debris. 0. Take a closer look. The overflowing, you may... Oh wait, I'm not within range 0. We're going to spend a movement point, and then take a closer look. The overflowing maintenance hatch is meant for objects, but a careful person might be able to use it to wriggle through. You may spend a movement point on a 2 agility test. Okay, success, move from the area containing E to the area containing F or vice versa. So we're going to go ahead and be wriggling through the gap. We're going to leave this card here as a reminder. Now, I started here, 1, 2. I'm going to spend the movement point to try to wriggle through, testing my agility on 2 dice. And I do have to spend a stamina to do so, but I'm going to go ahead and wriggle through that gap where I'm now going to see card F. The flooded stable. You enter the watery stable full of wet hay and animal screams. In the back, you see what is clearly the Ignatia's birdie, a wagon with mechanical wings. So that spice merchant over here, the birdie wagon is over here. It's a mechanically winged birdie wagon. Panicked sounds flip. So this is interesting. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to flip it right now because we're within range 1. We're going to go ahead and flip the card. And looking around, you realize this place has not always been a stable. It was once a temple. Interesting. It was once a temple of a pagan goddess before Benin became a secular republic. For generations, it has been used for keeping animals, but now there's only one togwell in the far pen. The flood is making it panic. The far pen is going to be likely over here because there's an interaction point there. So we have a togwell, which I assume is some sort of creature or beast that is panicking. And so now I don't know whether it's within range 2. So I think I'm not going to spend the stamina. I'm going to simply walk 2. I'm within range 1, so I'm going to grab card K. The scared beast. The distressed togwell is rearing in its pen. It is stuck in ropes and clearly scared of the rising waters. As it sees you, it kicks at the stable support beams, causing the whole building to shake. This just makes it more scared, and it lets out a disturbing shriek. Within range 0, we have a chance of calming the togwell. So we're going to continue our movement, and then we're going to attempt a success check with 4, and we have 3 dice, fortunately. We're going to go ahead and roll, and we got, well, exploding dice, which means we're almost guaranteed a success over there, and boom, that's going to be 4 successes. We now get a chance to calm the togwell. Togwell Whisper. You place your hand on the toggle's jaw and make soothing noises. It responds to your calming tone and relaxes enough for you to untangle it from the ropes. It shakes itself a bit and looks at you gratefully. Place this card in the salvage pile. Excellent. So now we just need to head over there. That was our second maneuver, right? We did that right. Yeah, second maneuver. Which means we are now out of time. We're not out of time. We have 2 actions left. We're down to 2 actions left. And we're going to go ahead and again choose the same actions. We're going to attempt a success over here. We have a giant stack of chips over there. That should be doable. We're going to roll. And we have 1, 2, and 3, 4, which means we are able to go ahead and pay 2 stamina, place our last marker on helping out, and now we can finally take another action. So I think we're going to go ahead and walk... I think we'll go ahead and go 1. We're going to spend the stamina. 1, 2, 3. Like so. And now we are over there. Okay. So what are we doing next? We are going to be going ahead and Something we didn't talk about yet, but you do have to respect various, it doesn't really matter a lot except for on these narrow ledges, but you see these little dots here, that's the number of characters that can be in a given space. We haven't had to worry about it yet, I think I did it correctly. Yep, we didn't have any conflicts in where we were, but it's something to be mindful of. That was the first action. So the second action, we're going to go ahead and wriggle through the gap. So we're going to spend a movement point. We're going to, again, do this. I'm going to spend a movement point. So we have 3 movement points to spend, which is going to place me over there. That's fine. Okay, we're going to go ahead and do that. We're going to spend a movement point, and we're going to take a agility test on 3 dice. And we have a success, 5 successes. We only need 2. And we're going to go wiggle through, and then we're going to go ahead and go 2 more. 1, 2. To this location over here where we're going to read card G. And that's going to be the last of the story cards. So we're going to lock this off over here. We're going to read this card, Birdie. You wallow through the knee-deep water to reach Birdie. The wagon has wings of wood and fabric and a complex mechanism for powering and operating them. Inside rests plenty of cargo, but you do not see any scrolls lying about. Spend a maneuver action to search the wagon, but I don't have any maneuver actions left, which means it's Lunara's turn. Lunara is going to go ahead and spend a stamina to go 1, 2, 3, then spend the second maneuver action to search the wagon and flip it. You go through flasks and blankets, well-used musical instruments, candles, spare clothes, totems and other objects, some common and others strange, until you come across a sack containing scrolls. While the sack may keep the rain out, it will not protect them from the flood. Place this card below your hero board. We are trying to get the sack of scrolls over to this location over here. That's going to be how we, I assume, finish the scenario. So, with that, we are going to go ahead and, let's see, what are we doing over here? Let's go ahead and make sure we're reading the victory card correctly. The victory stat is going to be victory. Conclusion, okay, victory. Okay, we'll go through all of that. So we're going to finish that off over there. And that was the first action. That was the second action, which means we're now down to 1, oh no. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Interesting. Interesting. Okay, cool. So, here's what happens here. And by the way, that is a small item that could have been passed to another hero through this door. So I think that's the relevance there. And then we're going to go ahead to our last turn, again taking double maneuver, because I think it's the only way we can actually get to the end. And we're going to go ahead and spend a stamina to move 3, 1, 2, 3. Well, we have to take a test, so we're going to spend the movement point to go ahead and take a test. I only rolled 2 dice, and we got a success, so we got 2 successes, 3, and then 1, 2, 3, and we're going to go ahead and place that. By the way, fun fact, if we did not have this boat here, we'd have to be going back here, and this is the last turn of the game. There's no more turns after this. This is it. This is over. So that boat was essential to being able to put this into that. And then we're going to go ahead to, that's going to be this turn, and we're going to go ahead and put this over here and rest. We're just going to rest with that character over there. And that is basically going to be the conclusion of we are done. We've explored every single point. We've interacted with every single thing. We didn't actually accomplish everything, because let's go ahead and show you how this plays out. We're going to take our items in our stash. We're going to remove our heroes from the board, and we're going to proceed to the conclusion of the scenario. Conclusion. The floodwaters get so high that retreating to the upper floor of the Shimmering Squid is the only option left to you. Eventually, even that is flooded, and you are forced to climb into the roof. You see people trying to swim to safety or using doors and tables as makeshift rafts. You spend your time helping others, but the truth is you are also in need of help. Any story cards still below a player's hero board are removed from the game. Ooh, so we wouldn't have rescue them. For each story card you add to the salvage pile, read the relevant entry in order below. The fungus, the grick. The barmaid seller is petting her grick, both clearly bringing comfort to each other. She has precious little on her, but as a token of her gratitude, she gives you a rare herb. We're going to gain a Star Lotus token. Those are going to be little tokens we can cash in for benefits. Give it to a hero of your choice. Chest of the Fifth Eye. You help the old priest lift the heavy chest onto the roof. He tells you the cult of the Fifth Eye collects ancient artifacts, and the chest holds one of their most valuable discoveries. May the Fifth Eye watch over you, he says. The priest introduces himself as Aris Kirain and writes you a letter of recommendation to be used in Rudale. Give the Introduction to Aurora Kirain item card as a party item. Fun. There's going to be little cards, decks of cards you can have as various gear or equipment, which we'll see more of in episode 2, in tutorial 2. Story card scrolls. Before you ran up the stairs, you delivered the scrolls to the one-eyed Ignacia. She gave you some money in gratitude before swimming off to the stable. Each hero gains 2 star. Star is going to be a currency you can utilize. Story card K, Toggle Whisperer. Thinking about the scared Toggle you saved makes you feel good. Toggles are used as mounts by the local Nithri, but clearly the mysterious Ignacia has found this one useful as well. Something tells you that this was not the last you have seen of that magnificent animal. Give story card K to the hero who calmed the Togrel. So we're going to go ahead and give Togrel Whisperer to Lunara Brigadon. Story card L, the people's gratitude. Do we have story card L? Yes, we do. Family saved. The nearby overcrowded sailboat, you recognize the Panicking family you helped by clearing the road. The boat sails close enough to the inn's roof for the mother to talk to you. I will sacrifice in front of the totem, she says, and makes the claw symbol again. If only there were room, I would rescue myself, but perhaps the spirits will bring you good fortune. With that, she hands you something over the railing. Give 1 wooden amulet token from the reserve. Give it to a hero of your choice. Additionally, if you place any X markers on story card J, as a Corallian, that's going to be helping out over here. As a Corallian, the Innkeeper is not too worried about the water, but is very protective of his Nithri stepdaughter Stella. Most Corallians are born into the underwater cities of the Thalos. By the way, all these words I'm reading are various, I have no idea how to pronounce them because they're not words that I know. That's where the app would actually really help. Thalasukhi, the Zibble, and believe in working hard in pursuit of their dreams. To see one of them being a parent to a Nithri child is very unusual. The Innkeeper thanks you for keeping everyone safe and the bridge standing. As a sign of his gratitude, he gives you some coins. The creative success flows down on you, he says, in the Corallian way. Give 1 star for each X marker on story card J and split them amongst your heroes as you choose. It's going to be another 4 coins we can split as we choose. Achievements for the Flooded Inn. All story cards have been drawn. Yes. Story cards story card G is in the salvage pile. Story card J has some more tokens. Done and done. Finish the scenario on maximum stamina. So these group ones over here are going to result in each of us getting 3 of these tokens over here, 3 of these achievement tokens. These can be used for extra movement, for successes in combat. We'll explain those later. And then because this one is individual, that means only Venia is going to get it, versus Lunara is not going to get it. Let's read the epilogue and then we'll conclude this little walkthrough. You see ships, boats, gondolas, rafts, flying rickshaws, and airshops escaping from the epicenter of the disaster. The Gate of Amber, which is still pouring out the contents of some otherworldly ocean. But there is no help for you. Not until a wagon with flapping wings approaches the roof of the inn. It is a one-eyed Ignacio who recognized you earlier with the toggle aboard. I thought you could use a ride, she yells, and throws you a rope ladder. You let the Innkeeper Stella and the priest climb in first and then follow them. The wings are operated with an ancient device which uses a rare Agura crystal for fuel. The Ignacio lets the others off with a nearby hillside and then continues onwards with you. My name is Shanter Threebirds and I would have you join me in my journey to Runedale. You have much to discuss as you fly north away from the flooded cities. It's from the flooded city. Its bells still sounding the alarm behind you. That is going to be tutorial 1. So, let's go through some things. Number 1, that was actually my 3rd time through tutorial 1. I tried playing it with a degree of unknownness of, oh, what's going to happen, maybe I should head towards this door over here because I wanted to go through it as if I didn't know everything. I knew full well that walking to this door would have no consequence, would not help me at all because it only is useful for passing things through, which when I played it for the first time, we actually ended up doing. We had a hero wander here, we had the hero pass the scrolls through. My 3rd time playing through this scenario, and not once have I managed to get a quote-unquote perfect score. This was the closest that I've gotten. It does help the more you know about each aspect, the more you know about different things, well, it does help. A typical playthrough of the first scenario, if you don't know what's going on, I imagine is going to result in a few story cards left undrawn, a few story cards unresolved, some things not placed in the right area, there's going to be choices. Every scenario I've gone through for the first time results in things not being done completely because you have to make hard decisions. The more you know about this game, the more you'll know which cards to avoid, which cards to engage with, and how to get various achievements. So, again, I tried playing through it with the ear of someone who hasn't, because sadly I made the mistake of playing it through the first time I was playing it as learning online. The second time was me playing it while not recording it, and I wanted to go back and dive back into it so you can have that full experience. Like I said already, there's going to be tutorial number 2 and 3 are going to be over on Quacklope's channel. For this prototype, all we have is tutorials 1, 2, and 3, although tutorial 2 and 3 give you much more of the world of Agemonia, much more of the way the mechanics work and the combat plays out. And again, still with choices that have various impacts. That is going to be everything. Like I said already, we'll have a review coming of this game. I'll say that I like it. We'll cover more in the review, the details of how much I like it, my complaints, what I do and don't, all that stuff will be coming in a review, and this will be launching on Kickstarter on September 7th, so make sure to keep your eyes tuned for that. I'll have a link to the pre-launch page in the description down below. Until next time, I'm Alex Radcliffe from Board Game Co. Hope you enjoyed this video, and as always, have a good one.